Actors have gone through some insane transformations over the years to achieve whatever their goal was for a specific role. Some gained weight either by putting on muscle or adding some fat, while others saw a significant decrease in weight as they needed to either get more toned or lose body mass altogether. It seems quite common for method actors to get behind this, as they tend to dive headfirst into their work, usually focusing on physical aspects the most. However, other times actors want to get into the mind of the character and change their day-to-day lives to align with said characters. And from Overload, we're counting down the top 10 actors who went to extreme lengths for movie roles. What's going down, guys? Welcome to IO. I'm your host for this one, Jared Bronstein, and today we're talking about some serious dedication. However, I will say there are plenty of actors who haven't gone through nearly as much as the 10 on this list and still gave outstanding performances. As they say, whatever works for you, right? Before we jump into it, click right over here and check out Top 10 Central. Come laugh with us over at Central. I promise you guys, you do not want to miss out. Stick around to the end of this one for some comment replies, but for now, you know what we gotta do. Jump right into it. Starting our list off at number 10, Bradley Cooper. If you've seen American Sniper, or at the very least images or clips of Cooper while he was portraying Chris Kyle, whom the film was about, you can easily see he's bigger than normal. And considering how Cooper normally walks around at 185, well, when it came to film, he was walking around at 225 pounds. In 10 weeks, with the help of his trainer Jason Walsh, Cooper transformed himself physically. Working out twice a day as well as eating 6,000 calories, it definitely wasn't a walk in the park. But that's not all Cooper did. He also trained with a vocal coach twice a day and watched hours of footage of Kyle over and over again. There was also the Navy SEAL sniper who served with Kyle and as a movie consultant that taught Cooper how to properly shoot. Still, it seems the decision to be so committed to the role paid off, as the film was nominated for 6 Oscars, including Best Picture and Best Actor. At number 9, Natalie Portman. In Black Swan, Portman portrays a ballerina striving for perfection. Unfortunately, it seems Portman got a little too carried away trying to perfect her performance, which led to her feeling like she was going to die. She went on to say, I quote, "It was the first time I understood how you could get so wrapped up in a role that it could sort of take you down." For the role, Portman not only lost weight, but also rehearsed 8 hours a day, and her diet was mostly just carrots and almonds. At one point, she even dislocated a rib while rehearsing. The work would pay off, as Natalie would end up snagging the Best Actress award at the 2011 Academy Awards, but at a certain point, you gotta take a step back from the craft and realize this is actually affecting you as a person. At number 8, Chris Pratt. How'd the Parks and Rec star transition into an on-screen superhero physically? I quote, 3 or 4 hours a day of just consistent ass-kicking hard work. As the man himself explained, it certainly wasn't easy, and all that consistent work helped Pratt drop 60 pounds in just 6 months. When he first auditioned, Pratt weighed about 300 pounds, but when he showed up to set, the guy looked completely different. Marvel would pair Pratt with personal trainer Duffy Gaver and nutritionist Phil Goglia. Goglia completely changed Pratt's diet, making him eat about 4,000 calories a day and an insane amount of water. The one takeaway Pratt had from it all? I was peeing all day long, every day. That part was a nightmare. However, following his on-screen success, Pratt would continue to maintain his physique as he'd go on to star in the new Jurassic Park franchise and would continue with his role as Peter Quill, or Star-Lord, in Guardians 2. Moving on to number 7, Jared Leto. Portraying a transgender who was sick with HIV and AIDS, Leto would drop 40 pounds total when all was said and done. When asked how he managed to lose the weight, he simply said, "I stopped eating. It wasn't an easy thing to do. It was 30 or 40 pounds. After a while, I stopped counting." Getting down to a slim 114 pounds, this was an incredibly different look for Leto, who actually gained a significant amount of weight for a prior role in the film Chapter 27. Speaking on his weight loss for Dallas Buyers Club, Leto said, "It changes the way you walk, the way you sit, the way you think." In another 2012 interview, he said, "It's not about the most weight I can lose, it's more to represent the character." And speaking on that film Chapter 27, Leto gained a considerable amount of weight, putting on 67 pounds when all was said and done, to portray John Lennon's killer Mark David Chapman. Speaking on this role, Leto said, "I'm not sure it was the wisest choice. A friend of mine was recently going to gain weight for a film, and I did my best to talk him out of it. Just because you could lose the weight doesn't mean the impact it had on you isn't there anymore." At number 6, Margot Robbie. For the film I, Tonya, Robbie had to portray a professional ice skater. And let me just say, Margot wasn't an accomplished skater before taking on the role. Throughout the film, Margot could be seen wearing loads of makeup, some prosthetics, and of course wigs to help her portray the role. But when it came to the training side of things, Margot wanted to make sure people genuinely thought they were watching Tonya on screen. This led to Margot training for 5 months, 5 days a week, for 4 hours a day on the ice. And all that hard work is bound to take a toll on your body, which left Margot with a herniated disc in her neck. Still, her performance was like no other, and although she wouldn't win Best Actress, Margot would still get a well-deserved nomination. Halfway at number 5 now, Robert De Niro. In the film Raging Bull, De Niro plays a boxer, so as you can imagine, he had to get into pretty good shape. However, aside from the fitness routine he followed, De Niro also had to gain 60 pounds for the last scene of the film, where his character is seen as a much older man. During the time, this was pretty much unheard of, but Robert was determined, so they shut down the entire production of the film for weeks, just so De Niro can put on all the weight. There's also a rumor that he fought a few amateur boxing matches and won 2 out of the 3, but I can't confirm nor deny that there is any truth to that. It appears to be a rumor, but if it is true, that's even crazier. At number 4, Charlize Theron. For the film Monster, Theron gained 30 pounds looking nearly unrecognizable. Of course, the prosthetics and fake teeth as well as makeup certainly helped her achieve the new look as well. But when speaking on her diet, Theron said, "I think I've tried most of my career to transform myself into characters. This was just more extreme. I had about 3 months to gain weight. We never discussed it like, I'm gonna put on 30 pounds because I wasn't trying to look fat. It wasn't that hard. I just didn't say no to Krispy Kreme donuts or anything that was full of cream. I also gave up exercising." However, she made it clear that the goal wasn't just to look like Eileen, but to actually feel the way she did physically and mentally by completely letting herself go. At number 3, Hilary Swank. In the film $1 Million Baby, Swank had about 3 months time to completely transform herself to look like someone who had been training to box their entire life. Here's how she did it. I quote, "My training was 2.5 hours of boxing and approximately 1.5 hours to 2 hours lifting weights every day, 6 days a week. The producers asked me to gain 10 pounds of muscle. I gained 19 pounds of muscle. I started at 110 and I went to 129. And in order to do that, I had to eat 210 grams of protein a day." She went on to explain how she'd eat every 1.5 hours because your body could only break down so much protein. There was also a lot of flax oil, which she apparently didn't enjoy, and her sleep was even on a schedule. As she explained, the thing was, I needed 9 hours of sleep a night because your muscles have to be able to rest in order to build, or you actually reverse yourself. So I slept 9 hours a night, but I had to wake up in the night and drink protein shakes because I couldn't go that long without eating. At number 2, Matthew McConaughey. As I'm sure you know, he starred alongside Jared Leto in Dallas Buyers Club, which saw the man transform as well, losing a considerable amount of weight to play a man that was terminally ill. Dropping a total of 40 pounds, he explained, "The amount of energy I lost from the neck down, I gained from the neck up." He says, "I've seen people dying from HIV and cancer, and the last thing to go is the neck up. They are just savage from the neck up. Their body is withering away, but they are like a starving baby eagle in the nest waiting for the worm. So during filming, I had plenty of energy. I needed 3 hours less sleep a night. I did it as healthy a way as I found possible. I met with a nutritionist, I gave myself 4 months to lose the weight, I had my program meals, lost 3.5 pounds a week, like clockwork, and got down to my desired weight." He also gained a considerable amount of weight for the film Gold. We're talking about 47 pounds or so. And at number 1, Heath Ledger. As we know, Ledger wowed the world with his portrayal of the Joker in The Dark Knight. You may also know that was his last role, as he would pass away from an accidental overdose before the film's release. It turns out Ledger was so invested in the character, knowing he had big shoes to fill, that it may have caused his untimely death. Aside from his interest in props and makeup for the character, Ledger isolated himself for about 6 weeks, explaining in a 2007 interview, "I sat around in a hotel room in London for about a month, locked myself away, formed a little diary, and experimented with voices. Aside from this, his insomnia got bad, which led to him getting 2 hours of sleep a night. Unfortunately, he would pass after an accidental overdose on sleeping pills. He was 28 years old, but his performance will certainly live on forever." And there you guys have it for the top 10 actors who went to extreme lengths for movie roles. Let me know your thoughts on this one down below. I won't lie guys, as an actor I'd love to do something like this, ideally like be in a boxing film so I could just get ripped and beat someone up on screen. You know, maybe one day. Anyways guys, for now let's reply to some comments from the video, top 10 actors who refuse to work together. Tia Middleton said, "Franco definitely seems like he could be a jerk." I've heard stories about him. Apparently he's a bit of a jerk, yeah. I feel like he's the kind of person that maybe depends on the day, but I feel like he could be arrogant. But I feel like he's not necessarily a bad guy. I don't know. I don't want to necessarily talk trash about actors because as someone who has a career in the film industry, you know, I gotta watch what I say here because I don't want to get to set with Franco in like 5 years and have him be like, YouTube video where you're talking shit, what's the problem? DJ Doe said, 19 person to comment, love you so much, hashtag shout me out. Honestly, I just shouted you out because the fact that you knew that you were the 19th person, I mean, maybe you just saw how many comments there were, like I just said the number 18, 19, whatever. But the fact that you wanted to let me know that you were the 19th person, you deserve a shout out, so thank you for commenting that. Crimson Carson said, Jared should be a sports commentator. I don't think so, because I think I'd be incredibly biased with my teams. But then again, I feel like a lot of commentators are. Like I would definitely not report anything positive about the Cowboys. Like if they were to get a touchdown, I'd be like, and Dak Prescott just threw it for a touchdown. But if the Eagles got a touchdown, that'd be like a whole different ballgame. I don't even want to scare you guys at what I would do. Just watch my Instagram stories on Sundays when the Eagles play, you'll see what I do. Anyways, guys, that's it for this one. I've been your host, Jared Bronstein. You guys have been watching IO, and we'll see you in the next one.